Hi, Avery. How are you doing?
Hi, I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing good. Okay, so Avery, let's just hop into it. What went wrong with your game? What happened?
Oh, Pharaoh. I think I put too much trust and loyalty in Anthony and Lexus. I really thought that they had my back in that game, but looking back, Kayla really did have my back, putting her up on that block. Looking back, that's something that I regret for sure. But when you're in the Big Brother house, all that you can go off of is the information that you're being fed. And I was being fed information from people who I thought I could trust, and in the end, it came back to bite me in the butt.
hmm Okay, so I let's talk about that a little bit because you mentioned Kayla and you won two HOHs this season, which is good. And you used them to take out Matt and then Kayla. And you're kind of talking about it now, but knowing this decision now, which one of those do you feel like you would have changed, or would you still have made the same decision knowing that you're ending
I
up in the
think
jury house?
Yeah, I think going backwards, I still do feel like Matt was a good decision. He was a really good social player. And I feel like when it came down to hot chocolate, we were losing Lexus a little bit. We really wanted her to come back to us. And even just seeing how she was when Matt was gone, we kind of, we got our girl back. We saw more game coming from her. We saw a different side of Lexus that we didn't see when Matt was in the house. Me and Matt had a really good personal relationship but when it came to game, the game chats just weren't there. I had more stronger game relations with other people. And, looking back on getting Kayla out of the game, that's the one thing that I would change. I think I would put, someone like Lexus up as a pawn and see if we could get Tola out instead. I really did put Kayla up there because I thought that she was coming for me. I knew that she was going after Bailey, and there was information that she was feeding to me about Spicy that she didn't want to tell Spicy about, and that really, rubbed me the wrong way. But looking
hmm
back, I know that she did, do that to try to protect her. And at the end of the day, I just wanted to protect Bailey and Spicy in the end. And like I said, it came back to bite me in the butt.
hmm So, when you guys had the house meeting last week, with
Yeah.
Caleb, you mentioned about how Lexus and Anthony were telling you things about her targeting you,
Mm-hmm.
and now you're saying, you don't really trust them at all. Why do you think that was? Why do you think they did that?
I think that they caught wind that I was maybe putting Lexus up as a pawn. Lexus probably got spooked, brought up her concerns to Anthony, and they came up with a plan to try to sway it so that I could put Kayla up there. Looking back at the conversations that I had with both of them, there were a lot of, smoke screens. I feel like I was being fed information that was, bent a little bit in a way. Kayla did admit she did bring up the fact that, she wants to get big players out of the game. Maybe Anthony and Lexus brought it up and added my name in there to make it like she wanted to get me out of the game. Looking back, I really do think that Kayla was going to have my back. She was going to have Spicy's back. And
Mhm.
Anthony and Lexus got spooked because they were going to be going up as pawns.
That's fair enough.
Yeah.
Okay, so Avery, you're a super fan of the game, and when you came into the house, you were the first person to say, "Look, we're all newbies. We're gonna stick together. If there's any vets in this house, they gotta go." But then we saw you work really closely with the vets. So why did you change your mind? Why did you decide to do that?
Yeah, oh my God. I looking back on that, it's hilarious. I think it's gonna be so funny to watch back because I really didn't expect my favorite player to walk in the house. Spicy V is my favorite player. I knew that if there was an opportunity to work with her, that if I didn't, I would regret it. She in her season, she had, the opportunity to, form alliances and people never wanted to work with her. I knew that if she had someone in the house that she could trust, that I would put my trust in her. She would put her trust in me, and we could have something really good there.
hmm
It's funny looking back on it now because I really did believe, we have to band together. If there's any bets, they had their chance. We can get them out. And seeing Anthony and Spicy walk in, two players that I really respect, I had to go back on that. Like I knew that if I didn't work with Spicy, that I would have regret. She's my favorite player, and Anthony's a smooth talker. He's a really good gamer. I knew that he would be a good person to work with, for sure.
hmm so let's talk a little bit about the game because you're in the jury now. You get a jury vote.
Mm-hmm.
So that
Yes.
means you have to vote for someone to win. So at this point, who do you think is playing the best game?
I have to say, if it comes down to strictly game, I've said this so many times today, but I have to say Tola. As much as he annoys me and gets under my skin, he is playing a really good social game and he's a great competitor. As a Big Brother super fan, I have to respect that.
Mhm.
But I also have to give some respect to Bailey. She's playing a really good social game as well. She pulled off the votes to stay. That shows that she deserves to be there. She's playing a really good social game, but she's also a really good competitor. She has what it takes to make it to the end. So does Tola. And, Anthony, once again, making it to really far in the game, hasn't touched the block once. He's a great smooth talker. I have to give him props for that. But, Spice is my girl. I have to keep rooting for her.
Mhm.
Havocati is all the way to the end.
Okay, so which of those or which two people are most likely to get your jury vote then of that group?
I feel like if it comes down to Tola and Bailey, depending on the information that I'm told by the other jury members, I would have to go with Bailey.
Hmm.
She's had my back. Of course, I have to, think about who's played a good game, but who was loyal to me, who had my back in that house, who didn't have my back in that house. Obviously, I have to take into consideration Tola as well. He's been playing a great game. If I hear that he's won a couple more competitions, he pulled himself off the block, I have to respect that as well. But if
Hmm.
it comes down to those two, I got to go with my girl Bailey, top of the key.
All right, fair enough. Okay,
Of
so here at the Reality Kingdom, we like to keep it real. So I want to ask you, do you think
course.
that you played the game too real or were you not real enough in this game?
Ooh. Like when it comes down to me personally, like myself,
Yeah.
or like I feel like I was me the whole time, one of my things is that I say in the house, or not, in the house, but one of my sayings is "Verda ekta." It's Icelandic for "be authentic." That's what I said as soon as I left the house. That's what I wanted to do when I went to the house. I wanted to play as my authentic self. I didn't lie once about who I was or what I did. I might have told the house guests as I was leaving that I was 21. That was a big lie. I wanted to, one last jab at them before I left. They all thought I was, really young, so I wanted them to make. I wanted to, hit them with a little spice before I left. But
Hmm.
no, I think that I played a real game. Maybe I could have played a little bit realer, but at the end of the day, I hope Canada's proud of me. I hope my family's proud of me. That's all I can hope for.
Hmm. So speaking of the way you played your game, if you could go back, do it all again, what's one thing that you could change that you would want to change about the way you played?
I think the one thing that I would change is just, not putting so much trust into other people. I feel like, as a viewer, you're able to see every conversation, but as a player, you only see the conversations that you're a part of. I feel like I put
Mhm.
a little bit too much trust in my other alliance members. The only person that I trusted 1000% in that house was Spicy, and then it was Bailey. The fact that I trusted Bailey more than Anthony and Lexus was really telling, and I really feel like I should have trusted my gut a little bit more when it came to Anthony and Lexus. I put a little bit too much trust in those two.
Hmm. All right, that's fair enough. That was my last question. It was wonderful talking to you. Great meeting you. Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you so much for having me.
Yeah, bye-bye.